Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a Rune and Tarot Divination for Monday, the 6th day of December 2021. Well, one thing I wanted to tell you about, I discovered this morning when I sat down that I had not changed the lunar information. Now, within the body of the text of the esoteric and magical influences for the coming week, it was correct there. I just forgot to copy and paste it over from the spreadsheet onto the Medium page and also the blog. So I've done the corrections there. I've updated in both places, so that part is correct. But again, the body of the text, the interpretations were correct. I do everything on a spreadsheet. I put all the human design stuff for the week or each day, in columns, and then I have, all of the runes and everything for each day, and also the lunar information. And it was there. I don't know. We went to see our grandkids on Saturday so that my son and his wife could go and do a little Christmas shopping. And so we drove all the way over, 3.5 hours one way. And so I had to get everything all done. Normally I publish the newsletter on Saturdays, but I couldn't. I had to do it a day ahead of time. So I don't know. Just in my haste trying to get ready to go, I messed up there. So apologies for that. I'm going to go ahead and correct that one line up at the top of each day on the newsletter and resend that out as well, so that it's corrected. But anyway, at least the interpretations reflected the right information, even though the little top section, just the one line was not. Well, part of the actually I have both the sun and the moon on that one line, and it was wrong on Sunday for the sun as well. So anyhow, apologies for that. And so one last thing to correct after I'm done here, and I'll get that done. But let's see, what do we have here today? We have a 6 numerology for today. So harmony, love, empathy, compassion. All ye's, meaning the elk or protection or the bridge between the physical and astral realms or higher consciousness. It kind of looks like you're holding your arms up in supplication with all ye's. That's the rune from the esoteric influences for today. Acquisitio or gain is the geomancy rune. Let me see if I can find it real quick before I go and take another one here for the reading. Well, heck, I don't know where it is. Now watch, I'll grab it for the, well, here's Amicio, so we'll just turn it upside down. That's Acquisitio or gain. I had it here. Well, it doesn't matter. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Acquisitio. So we'll see if anything I pulled today for the rune and the geomancy rune, if there's going to be the same as what was on the esoteric influences. But sometimes it's nice to just, the moon's in Capricorn, but sometimes it's nice to compare the two. But I do a different one for the reading. Let's see. Regarding the information, though, the interpretation for today's esoteric influences, you're going to be approaching your objectives in a manner that reflects a shared purpose. Confidence is high. You draw inspiration from higher awareness as you collaborate toward a shared goal today of some kind, whether it's at work or in some other manner today. But you're going to need to remain flexible should challenges arise and take a measured, practical approach today, especially if this involves the women in your life, and especially if emotions are involved. Here's the thing about today. Reflection may be required to integrate your own awareness with the emotional needs of others so that interactions flow more smoothly. In other words, you may not be as understanding of the emotions of women in your life today. And generally when that happens, especially if you're a woman, but even if you're not, it means there's a lack of integration that's happening between head and heart. And so to understand that today, you're going to have to kind of take a step back and do that. Timing may play a factor, and it may be necessary to wait for the right moment to express yourself today. And you may also benefit from some sage advice from someone with more insight. This is a time to listen to the needs of others rather than to assert your own perspective. So that's the esoteric influences for today. Let's see what our rune is for the reading anyway. Well, it's Ingu's 22nd rune of the Elder Futhark. This is about, it's the seed, it's the sudden release of energy into form or manifestation. It's Kenaz turned inward, the light of spirit turned inward and informing everything, your perceptions, before they get manifested, so that you have a higher level of understanding today. So what are you going to manifest today, basically? And is it going to be from spirit? Let's see. We have single dot there. Oh, well, this is easy. We have via, or a new path. Let's see where via is. There's via. There's via for the so it's an alignment. You can think of it also as alignment, but alignment on a new path maybe. But let's see what the cards have to say. I woke up I was awakened by the roosters. The rooster house and run is right next to my bedroom. Now, it does not have one of those automatic doors on it. So at night, on their house that is, so at night they can come out. Well, they did. And now it's possible they just got into a scuffle. But it really sounded like something was out there. And so my husband got up and went out there. But it was so upsetting, that we didn't go back to sleep for a really long time. Well, we finally did, but it was hours. And so I'm like, oh my God. But they're fine. They're both inside their house right now, though, because it's raining. But, there was a cat running around there this morning that is not ours. We don't have a cat anymore. And so I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with that. I don't know. But I doubt it. In all likelihood, the cat wandered over this morning. So, but anyhow, let's take a look at the cards and see what we have. Oh, we have the Hierophant again, like we had from last week. And we have some cards from the court. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. But the Hierophant is about divine mastery. It's about, you've got the keys of knowledge and tradition here. You've got triple aspects represented. There's a 5 energy. You've got 2, so you've got the 3s that are represented here, plus the 2 here. And so you're looking at a 5 energy. Now 5 is going to be about change, fulfillment, protection, freedom versus restriction, creativity, and all of that. But here we're looking at a higher level of it, from soul level, if you will. So divine wisdom, mercy, idealism. It could also, I think that I said here today, from the esoteric influences, let's see, didn't I say that it was that to go and, oh yeah, you may benefit from sage advice from someone with more insight. So that's going to align well with the Hierophant card, either finding that within or finding it from someone who's wiser than you, in case there's some issues you're having today that you find it to be a little bit confounding. But here you see the alignment of the triple aspects. You see the 3 crosses here. You see the points here, 1, 2, 3. The same with the monks. You can see it on their backs there. I love that they're you see the crown here. It's a beautiful crown, but you see 3 levels there with the 3 points way up at the top. So in addition to the idea of mastery or divine mastery or spiritual awareness or what have you, you're looking at the idea of triple aspects. And so mind, body, spirit alignment, basically, or spirit, soul, and body alignment. But basically it's understanding that with this, with Ingus, you're going to be manifesting from spirit today. That's what it's telling us. It's reinforcing that idea of Kenaz turned inward, and the light of spirit informing your perceptions and your manifestations today. Your behavior, in other words. Are you going to be going from the standpoint of ego? Will you be influenced by that, or will it be spirit that influences? And both Ingus and the Hierophant are suggesting that realistically it ought to be spirit that informs, the soul here in because that's what we are. We are souls in these vehicles called bodies, and we're having this experience in physical form that can be either creative or reactive, and if we are going to be creating, are we creating from spirit, or are we creating from the reactive ego? And so I think that especially during this phase in humanity's development, we're being shown we're being really shown something that is divisive, and a life experience that's divisive, and it's not reflective of spirit. It's only reflective of ego. And so we're being challenged, I think, to understand that, and to understand without necessarily having to experience it firsthand, even how detrimental the idea of hate speech is. And the kind of cheap shots that are happening these days. And if interactions are taking that turn, then it's time to go within and realign yourself with Vaya on a different path, where it's more reflective of spirit instead of ego going and doing its thing. I think that I just think that we're having an experience right now that is very profound, especially if we don't get caught up in it. It's very profound and revelatory, really. The Knight of Pentacles represents the earth element, or our material aspect of self, if you will, our work, our career, our home, our tradition, all of that. It can also be about grounding and protection. But here you see a very strong looking horse. You see the knight on it, his visor's up. He's holding a coin, almost an offering. It's like he's standing above, say, a village that you don't see in this card. But it kind of gives you the feeling that he's standing up above, maybe, or over apart from the city itself or the village itself. And he's offering protection and material security to the people there. He's there to help, basically. So he's trustworthy, he's wise, he's dependable, he's practical, and he's realistic. So perhaps the answer then to what you're looking for, that you need the divine mastery for, is to understand that trustworthiness has to be there, wisdom has to be there, dependability, practicality, and a realistic sense of things. And again, realism generally doesn't find home with the ego. That's something that you have to be able to step back and take a look at what's going on and assess the thing from higher awareness, so that you understand, all right, what's really happening here, and what do I need to do? Do I need to do anything at all, or can I just stand apart from this and observe? Sometimes that's the most practical answer for you. But if you're going to get into the middle of it, then you have to keep your own perceptions realistic today, and have them be more lofty than the reactive ego is going to provide you. From there, we have the Page of Swords. Now, in terms of the court, there's an age difference, well, except maybe when you get to the Queen and the King, although typically the Queen, well, not necessarily though, usually the Queen is younger or right about the same age as the King, but it just depends. In the olden days, You know, the king might have had numerous different wives, and maybe this one is a younger one. So if you look in terms of age progression, you have the page, or the princess as it sometimes is, depending on the deck you're using. But in the Rider-Waite, it's the page. That's going to be the youthful one. That's going to be the student, or the news bearer, or an expression of undeveloped potential. So with this card, with the Page of Swords, we're talking about the air element and communication and interaction, justice, balance, fairness, reason. And you almost see him moved. You know, he's looking toward the past, but at the same time, the wind is blowing him in a different direction, isn't it? He's not leaning into the wind, he's going with the wind, if you will. And so here you have a risk taker. You have someone who's vigilant, someone who's intelligent. And it could be an actual, it's diplomacy. He's diplomatic. So perhaps it just feels like the knight and the page. The knight is going to be the next in line in terms of age. He's already done being a student and he's off doing something else. He's on his quest. And then you have the old, because I didn't finish that thought. And then you have the queen and the king that are older yet than the knight and of course the page. But it almost feels that in this moment of creation with Ingus, that a new path is forming, and you've gotten yourself maybe some wisdom from somebody that knows a little more, with a little more experience than you have, and you're ready to now approach whatever this is, this new experience. Although you're willing to take risks, you're going to do so in a practical and reasoned manner. Let's take one more card and see if we can get an idea of what any of this is really about. A little more definition, maybe. But clearly, there's something is going to change with that sudden release of energy, with that something new. Now, you know, it could also it could also suggest that maybe something unexpected. So this Ingus is really something that just comes to you. You're faced with a situation, and now you need to make a different choice than you normally do. And it needs to be one that isn't as reactionary, but it could also indicate something unexpected. So maybe the path that unfolds today is in fact unexpected. That would align with the idea of the sudden release of energy. Just think the seed, you know, when you germinate a seed, we do ours typically, I mean, it depends on what it is. We don't with carrots, but we just plant those in the soil. But we might go and put some on some wet paper towel, stick them in a baggie, a Ziploc baggie, blow it up, make a little environment for them, and then let them germinate there. And it's like one day, in fact, maybe you'll even see it you'll look at it in the morning and nothing's happening, but then all of a sudden you look at it in the evening and all these little, you know, the seeds have germinated and life has begun. And so it's that sudden release of energy. It's a focused, concentrated creation energy that suddenly goes boom into form, basically, and starts growing. So that's the energy of Ingus, and so there's an unexpected feel to that. But let's take another card. And I'm going to take the 13th one for randomness sake. Well, it's going to take some inner strength to do all of this, to either seek help, to take somebody's advice with more experience that has more of a balanced and reasoned approach to something, that is able to see the whole picture and say, well, look, I know you're upset about thus and so, but have you looked at this angle of it? It'd be one of those kind of conversations you would hopefully have with somebody wiser than you today, if you need it. And then to have the inner strength to take that new path in a way that with the Knight of Pentacles, you're offering a different measure of security to the situation. If it's a group situation, say at work, a collaborative effort or something, maybe some unexpected things have happened today for you or for everyone in the group, and now you're having to grapple with, okay, where are we going from here? This unexpected stuff has happened, and now we've got to deal with it. And the idea is to deal with it, not being afraid to ask for help, to do so with practicality and wisdom, and again, reinforced by the Page of Swords. Take the risk, take the path you might not have otherwise taken, in other words, and see where that's going to go, and do it from a new standpoint. With Ingus, it's a 22nd rune of the Elder Futhark, and so you're looking at the master number 22, which is the cosmic builder. And that's sudden, profound soul level change that's happening, or soul level manifestation. So again, that aligns extremely well with the Hierophant today in terms of getting the wisdom. Now, it could be that you simply go into meditation and you allow higher self to inform you, and that's your Hierophant, your inner Hierophant, if you will. But then you're going to have some strength, though, some inner strength to tame the ego within. You can see the woman, the goddess, if you will, lemniscate above her head, is talking about the cyclical nature of things, the give and take. But here, she's controlling the lion. The lion loves her. So her ego, if you will, loves her. And the idea is to transmute ego into spirit, so that ego is not really impacting the decisions that you make today. So that would be the challenge if we were to look at it that way. Let's see if we have a benefit card, though, in this. Kind of maybe be the outcome. Although when I was doing a 5-card reading all the time, the Page of Swords would have been the outcome, and again, you got to take the risk that the new path is there's always, in a new path, there's always inherent risk. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is the benefit card. It's basically suggesting that whatever's happening today, if you access, a more realistic perspective, a higher level of perspective, it's going to likely give you some peace and security if you do. Now, the Queen of Pentacles can be taken in a lot of different ways, but to me, at least in this sense, she's in her garden, and everything is peaceful. I had a little blip in the screen there, so everything froze, but now it's back. But so even though it may be some unexpected things that come your way, oftentimes that sort of thing, it's like we were delayed coming home on Highway 217 in the Portland area, and the greater Portland area, and Beaverton area, and instead of getting frustrated, it's like, well, there could be a reason for this delay, so let's not get frustrated. So in a sense, it was, the quality of our path, or the path was the same going home, but the quality of it changed. And so go with it, instead of resisting it. And I think that may be what this is about here. If something unexpected comes up for you today, either go within and find the higher purpose of it, or try to find somebody that has some more experience that can help you understand what this is all about. But this could be opening something up for you today, or ongoing for the future, that will ultimately yield you some peace and security. So, kind of go with the flow today, and don't resist. And if you're collaborating with others, if this is at work or what have you, if there's a collaborative effort going on, maybe there's just a change that needs to happen. And if you would have continued on the course you were on, maybe it would not have worked out as well. So embrace the unexpected today. And if it takes you on a new path, then so be it. Welcome it, because it's likely the one you're supposed to be on. So anyway, that's it, I think. I think we did it. Thanks so much. We'll talk again on Thursday for another As Above, So Below reading. Look for the forecast over on the blog at imsteppingaside.com, and all these links, the links are below the video here. If you just click on that, show more. If you're unaccustomed to YouTube, if you're not, if you're here all the time, you know what that means. It's like, oh, let's see if there's anything else there. Well, anyway, there is, and so lots of links where you can find me. But check out the forecast. It goes up Monday through Friday. Again, the esoteric influences, I'm going to go and change that one line in the newsletter on each day, and so that's completely accurate instead of just, mostly accurate. The interpretations are right. It's just that one line I forgot to copy and paste over. So, and I thought I had done it. That's the weird thing. I thought I had done it. So there's my unexpected thing today, and so I have to get that back on track. So anyway, and I'm sure there'll be more, like the chickens and everything that we were coping with last night. It's like, oh geez, well, I love the roosters, they're fun. So, and I'd hate to go after the big white one because he's just massively big, just a big chunky rooster. He's just huge. And he's not afraid to go after things, so enter at your own risk, I guess. Anyway, thanks a lot. And again, we'll talk again on Thursday. And, be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.